Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I did not do a video this week, and that's because I've been having all these other things going on. So I thought I'd just do a quick chat and update kind of thing. So the chairs are gone. The cart where I'm standing, the cart is usually here, it's gone. So I have the table left. I got to sand it and seal it. And then that one, I was going to sand it and do some touch-ups. But if you look at it, like right here, there's a little there, a little there, a little there, because it used to be white. When I bought it, it was white. You know what I mean? There's just little touch-ups. And since it's not in the direct sun, I don't think I'm going to worry about it this year. Now, when I do the sealer on here, I didn't have like magnifying glass to read the little print. They print so tiny, I couldn't see it with my regular glasses. So I have to reread it. But I read something about not to let it touch metal. Now I'm thinking maybe because it will rust the metal or something. I don't know. So just in case that is the case, I may have to touch up the black on this table next year. So by then the planter will probably need more of a touch up next year because another year of moisture, right? So I think I'm going to leave the planter, just going to do the stone table. And then when this is done, then I'll do the walls, the floor, and we can start setting up. See, like it really needs a cleaning. Look at that. All along there. I don't know why the rain and moisture doesn't get to this wall. It's the window wall. I don't understand, but anyways, it needs to be cleaned either way. And then when we go in, hold on. Oh. Make sure no bugs come in. You're going to see a lot of these yellow things since I've been doing my seedlings. I've gotten so many of those bugs. They're my seedlings, getting bigger every day. And then I have a few on this side. These are the last few I did, other than the purple and the lime green pot, which those aren't growing very not viciously, but like not growing like crazy, I guess. These guys were kind of small when I repotted them, and I probably shouldn't have repotted it yet, but I did. Lobelia is good, petunia is good. That's also petunia, and that's also a lobelia. This one's a dianthus, two of them, and then we got the parsley back there. And then over here, the only ones left in little pots are the peppers. These are all peppers. And then I got two peppers over here that are doing really well. So, got a lot of peppers, and I'm only going to be able to grow one or two because I'm going to use these pots, the 6-inch pots. So, you can only grow one pepper, maybe two, depending if it's a tall one. But everything else is going well. There's a couple there that don't have a whole lot. They have little sprouts, but they're kind of slow. And I'm worried about my stevia. Like, is that the one that says stevia? Yeah. I just got that one little clump, that's it. But the others are doing well. I just wanted to give you an update. Oh, and I have the apple cider vinegar with a few drops of soap, saran wrap, and then you make a few holes. I did that yesterday, and it's not helping. And of course up here we got a whole bunch of those yellow things again. And then even with my regular plants, I got another apple cider vinegar jar there. And then more stickies. That hibiscus I still got to deal with. Got another sticky over here now. All right, and so my living room temporarily looks like that. Not very welcoming, but I've got my 2 wrought iron chair, one there, and there's one over there, which goes with the stone table. Then there's my cart, the 2 blue chairs. And then behind there's a whole bunch of things like the carpet, the netting, the tool, like that kind of stuff. In the back here in the box, there's the magnetic hooks. Those are good for 80 pounds. Yeah, so my living room is not very nice right now, but what can you do, right? Anyways, I will go into my room now. And I think that's everything to show you out here. There's the plant window. There's still one empty hook because I'm still waiting for my Swedish ivy. Once that ZZ plant in the corner gets nice and healthy, like it is pretty full, but I mean for it to look full and vigorous and, you know, like really doing healthy, I'm going to get rid of that one. And then this whole shelf is going to shift down to where the wall meets there. I'm going to shift it all the way down because that's also where the heater starts. And then I'm going to switch the light with that planter, those 2. They're side by side. I'm going to switch those 2 because right now that light is right above that shelf area. So if I'm going to move it over a hook, you know, that way, then this whole thing has to shift. But that ZZ plant is so big, it won't go by the couch. It'll interfere with the couch. So I have to get rid of that before I can shift this over. And then I can switch those 2. Because I was thinking, if I'm going to have a Swedish ivy on that last hook there, it's going to be just as big and full as this one, which then it blocks light. So spider plants and the shamrock, the green spider, on the internet it says it's called a shamrock. So the spider and the shamrock, or airplane, I've heard it as airplane plant too, they'll be separated with that light because they don't take up as much, like it doesn't block as much of that light, and there is only that light in this area other than the shelves. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do a little switcheroo, but I can't do it until that ZZ plant is gone and until the weather is nice and warm and sunny and hot. I'm not getting rid of it because I don't want to lose it. So that's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right, so let's go in the bedroom now. I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. And I did not get into the journaling today. I know I had done a whole thing about this accordion agenda. And I even made one as a gift. But what I decided is I don't really like it. It is so bulky, especially with me wanting to put everything into it. I love it, and don't get me wrong, I am going to keep it, but I'm not going to do the agenda thing with it. I'm going to be using the pages that I have in there now. Here, let's open it this way so you don't see my personal stuff. Like these pages, we're just going to decorate these pages. And so they'll, like this I may take off. This I may take off. I don't know. And then it'll just be a cover for that month. And then we'll decorate each one of these pages. And here, what I might do is use it for my sayings. You know, I have the first booklet I made, the first journal I made. I'm using that to put in all the quotes and everything. Well, maybe I'll put it in here. I don't know. Or I might just decorate it and it'll just be positive inspiration. I'll try and put as much different things as I can in here. You know, like different types of pockets and belly bands and ephemera cards. Like fill her up, but try and have as much variety as possible. And then just keep it with my original. Keep the two together for me. Or what I could do is when I do my family one, like my journal and my mom's, maybe I can put this with it and do some photos in here. Or maybe explain the different generation 1, 2, 3, and then we can do 4, 5, 6, because there's 6 sections. So I can do 6 generations in here. I don't know. I won't get rid of it. I absolutely love it. I just came to the conclusion I don't like it for an agenda. Like, I have so much stuff to keep track of that I want to keep track of, that, and then my receipts go in here. Like, look how full it is already, and I've only done 3 months. Like April, I may have a couple of receipts in here, but like, look how thick it is already. Just January and February alone. Like, look at this, how thick. And imagine having 6 like this. It's going to be huge. So I decided not to do this for my agenda. I bought one of these a couple years ago, and I just use it to scribble notes and stuff. And I was looking at it a few days ago, 2-3 days ago, and I'm like, you know what? Or no, actually it was like a week ago. I really like this. You have your scheduling, you have your priorities, your to-do list, gratitude, which I have to get in the habit of doing that. I think it will lift my spirits if I try and do as often as possible a gratitude. And then notes. And then down here you got your meals, so you can mark what you eat. There's like 4. This is supposed to be snack. But like, I don't eat a whole meal when I have a meal. I don't eat like 3 meals and actually sit down and eat the 3 meals. I will have like, you know, like one, let's say a dinner. You've got your meat, your vegetable, and your starch. Well, what we do, because Scott and me, we're similar that way. We'll have one meal will be just the meat. Another meal, I'll have a bunch of veggies. Another meal will have the starch. Like I might have a baked potato with some sour cream on it, or Greek yogurt or something. You know what I mean? Like we don't sit down and have our three things in one sitting, because there's no way I could eat 4 meals like that, or even close to that. I know breakfast is like, some people have like egg, bacon, toast, pancake. Like, how can you eat so much? I can't eat breakfast, period, or I get lazy and my body feels sluggish. So I don't eat breakfast. And then lunch is usually late. And then for lunch, I'll have a protein shake, or I'll have some soup, or a toasted sandwich of some sort, whether it's tuna or whatever. You know, like, and that is a complete meal. So that would be like lunch would be a complete meal, or dinner. But I'm just saying there's 4 spots, so I could put the 4 things, and I could even put the time, because there's room here. I don't do anything really in the evenings, so I could put times when I have each of the meals. And then water intake, well, automatically I have 5 cups of coffee in the morning, and it's just with milk, no sugar. I put a cup of, I have a thermos, a French press, a stainless steel one, and I'll put the coffee grinds in, and I'll put 1 cup of 2% milk in it. And then when my kettle is boiled, I'll add the hot water up until 1 liter, the 1 liter mark. So 1 liter is technically only 4 cups of coffee. But anyway, so then there'll be 4 cups of coffee, and then my protein shake, which is 1, and then I usually have 1 or 2 waters, and then I might have an almond milk with chocolate. Like, it's not just water. I do my liquids. I just don't include coffee because they say coffee and tea are a diuretic. So you don't want to include those in your liquid intake. But all my other liquids, and then here my walking, cardio, dancing, those are the 3 types of exercise I do. And then your mood. So I really love this layout. Mind you, 1 book is only good for 6 months. This is not a full year. I used to buy the ones that were this size, and it was a whole year in it, and each page was a different day. But it was pretty bulky, and then by the time you put all your receipts in it and everything else, some days I didn't even have enough room on the page to write what was happening or to-dos or anything. Whereas this, I think, would be a lot better because it's at 8.5 by 11. You could put receipts here, but I could do receipts here, and then here I would do it here. So always on the right side of the page. And then that way that does not overlap with this one. It would be beside it. And it wouldn't get as bulky as quickly. So I wanted to be open and honest with you guys. I love the accordion idea. I do not like it for an agenda. I am going to try this one this year because it's nice and big. I don't need to take it with me in my purse. If I need to make an appointment, I can just make an appointment, and if it clashes, I can make sure I know who to call to reschedule it because it clashes with something already in here. Or I could, if it's like a set time appointment, I can put it on Google Calendars, and then when I out at a doctor's and I need to do an appointment, I can just go into my Google Calendars and look just the time slot appointments, like the ones that are designated. Only those, put it in my Google Calendar. Because the other stuff doesn't need to be in there. Anyway, so I'm going to try this. I have to order another one because, like I said, I did put tabs on them. And I am going to decorate it. I'm not using this. And then the telephone and address, it's already in my phone. I don't need it. But I'm happy it's here. Because for this stuff, I could do like a summary of my exercise, and then I can put January, the total for the month, and then February, and give myself the challenge to always beat the highest previous one. So let's say January, it was a total of, 10 hours, and then February, it was only 8.5 hours. So March, my goal would be to reach that 10 hours again. Or that kind of thing. Or maybe have columns, what were the different sections? Walking, cardio, dancing. January, February, March, all the way down. And then, like if by walking, I did X amount of steps, because I got a pedometer now. It's in the other room. I got a pedometer, whatever you call it. You're probably laughing at me the way I pronounce words, but that's okay. Have fun. So if it's, let's say, 3,000 steps in January, and February had 5,000 steps, and then March only had 2,000, like your goal was supposed to be 10,000. So let's say I did that, and 5,000 or 4,000, whatever I said, was the highest of those 3 months. So then April's challenge would be to beat that. And then whichever is the highest, that'll be my goal for May. And it'll be the same with the cardio and the dancing. And then over here, my blood pressure. So I was thinking of gluing in like Post-it notes. Okay, this is not a Post-it note, but that's what's right next to me. So you'll have 1 Post-it note, 2, and 3. And then with the Post-it note, you'd have 1, maybe 2, 3. Maybe I could squeeze in a fourth one because I'd be covering this too. So I'd be starting up here. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. So that'd be 12 post-it notes. So 12 and 12 is 24, and there's what, 52 weeks in a year. What do we got over here? Ah, there you go. Do I need this over? Oh yeah, they made a mistake. I didn't get 2025 holidays. But it doesn't matter. Once I enter it in the different sections, that's all. I don't need this, right? And this, well, you got your phone. Do you really need this? No. But I need the paper. So what I can do is do another 12 and 12. So that's 48. So, because 12, 12, 12, 12. And there's 52 weeks in a year. So 2 weeks would not, I'd have like the last 2 weeks of the year would be like my free day. No challenges. Just enjoy, right? It's Christmas and New Year's and anyways. So that's what I was thinking. And then for each month, do my blood, like on a post-it note, you have quite a bit of room. If I use a fine point pen, I write smaller. Maybe a fine point Sharpie. Something like this. These are fine point, ultra fine. So you can write a lot smaller if you have a very fine point. And then who knows, maybe I can enter, like split the post-it note in half. And then you just do like, I don't know, 120 over 80, 125 over 89. Like you could do multiple, or actually, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 10 a month. I could just use each individual square for my blood pressure. Is this the blood pressure one? Oh no, it's supposed to be on the cover, no? No, yeah, no, this is the blood pressure. Oh, right, this is the exercise. This is the blood pressure. So I could use one box, highlight it somehow, maybe with a marker or decoration, split it in half, and then on each line I could do, like there's 5, that's be 10. And that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Be 14 per page. That I like. 14 per page. It means I would do the whole year. So then I'd probably do it here and leave this alone. Because this is less likely for me to use than this. Anyways, so I just wanted to let you know. I am now using this one and I am decorating it. Just like I did with, I packed it away already. My first 2-year, I had used the Remax calendar. And I decorated it and I used that for all my YouTube stuff. Well, this, I can do YouTube and personal all together. And like one day, like that's a lot of information. You know what I mean? Challenges, gratitude, scheduling, like, yeah. Anyways, I am going to get back to the journaling, but my focus is kind of on the deck. And then all of a sudden one day I just got so frustrated with this thing. Like I have not entered in this thing probably 2-3 weeks now. Like it was really frustrating. And I have long distance phone calls to make that I haven't gotten to. Like there's just so much going on. And then, I need something. We go to the store. I don't see the one I like. Amazon has a better one. So I order from Amazon. Then I got to wait a week because I'm not Prime. So Prime gets it pretty quick. But if you're not a Prime member, you got to wait sometimes a week. And so, yeah, so everything's a slow process. There's a lot going on. Hopefully next week we can spend one day on journaling. I still have my stamps out. I have my papers out. Like, I'm ready to do the next thing. You know what I mean? And, yeah. Anyways, I will see you when I get another video done up. I will do my best to get back to the journaling. I still have that houseplant series I want to do. I got the turntable for it. I want to do like a turntable and then have the camera focused on it. And then I will just explain about the plant. And I have my binder with all my plants listed and the information for them. It's just a matter of sitting down and actually doing it. And not being distracted by other things. Anyways, I know I'm talking too much again. Like, how can it take 25 minutes just to do an update? I don't know. All right, well, remember, do what makes you happy, and everything else will fall into place. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I have 4 clips now for the deck. So one more clip, and I think I should, no, 2 more clips. And then I should be able to post the cleaning and repairs on the deck. So that's in the works. And yeah, take care, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.